Trelis Voice Router is just like OpenRouter, but it's for voice models for transcription or for text-to-speech. It allows you to use just one single spend-limited API key to hit many services. And it does this as a bring-your-own-key service. So if you go to router.trelis.com, then you can go to API keys and input your API keys for whichever providers you want to use models from. If there's a model not supported, just go to bugs and you can post here a suggestion to support a new model. Now, once you've put in the provider keys, you then create a spend limited key here, and that will provide you with a single key that can hit any of the models from these providers. Now you can do that via the Trelis Router API. You can check out the models available on the models page, and you can find the code either to hit a synchronous endpoint or an asynchronous endpoint. You can actually submit a significant number of requests to Trelis, and Trelis will batch them and send them to the provider. Both speech-to-text and text-to-speech are supported. Just one model here now, but you can easily request that others be added on. If you like, you can also try things out in the browser. For example, here I can say, hello. And I'll say, hello, it's Ronan from Trelis Router. And here I'm going to use ElevenLabs, and it should synthesize the voice.
Hello, it's Ronan from Trelis Router.
So this is just for demo. It's really an API service, but if you want to quickly test out the models, you can do so like that. Now, the first 100 requests every month, there is no charge from Trelis. You're just charged through the keys that you have already entered. Beyond that, there's a 5% charge, just like OpenRouter works. Trelis Router does not currently allow you to spend your Trelis credits and make requests. You can only spend through your own key. So that's a little bit different. It's how I believe OpenRouter was at the start, but maybe over time, we'll be able to add that functionality. I should also mention that you can use your Trelis Router API key now on Trelis Studio. So if you want to evaluate models, including open source models through Trelis Studio, but compare them to proprietary models, for example, here on the evaluation page, you could select maybe testing out a model from ElevenLabs, Scribe v2, and you could compare it to any of a range of models supported by Trelis Studio, like Quen models, Mistral's Foxtrot model, or others. And you can select a data set that you want to test on and run the evaluation. This is going to now hit Trelis Router, which will route the requests to the provider you're trying to test. And it's going to calculate the word error rate and the character error rate on the model in question. So here I've got a very short data set of just 6 samples you can find in a Hugging Face. I'm evaluating the validation split, and I'm going to see the results appear momentarily. And here we have completed the evaluation, and you can see if I just now, well, you can see the results here, 17 word error rate, 10% character error rate. And as I said, you could easily evaluate a base open source model, train it, evaluate again, compare it to the proprietary models. This is what I use this platform if I want to train models for customers as part of Trelis fine-tuning white glove service. So that is where Router is used, or Router is used in Studio. And you can just directly use Router if it's handy to have one API key. I find it useful because I can give access to developers to multiple models when we're doing evaluations by just using one API key instead of having to configure multiple API keys in many places. And it's also possible to spend limit it, which is quite useful if you want to pass it to an agent to make sure you can't possibly go beyond a certain amount of spend limit. So that's Trelis Router. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Cheers.